Siapa tanya? Lupa nak address you.
Intan.
Intan, okay. So Intan, your question was why is this document is the one that we have to refer to in order for us to understand about law and the state about this particular topic that we are doing, right? No, it is not. There are so many documents out there or so many articles, book, you know. These article and books, they just present their ideas. You know, there is no authority to say what is right, what is wrong. You know, but generally you can see some similarities, yeah, in terms of their presentation, in terms of their argument, in terms of how they see things, yeah. So what we are doing is actually to be able to get some perspective, which is what we need to do, because being students of law, you cannot be bounded by anyone, you know. Nobody can dictate you, say that this is what it is, so you have to follow. No. Okay. So if you were to have that mindset that you are a follower, then no point of being a law student. Law students are supposed to be rebellious, and not simply rebellious in a way that rebellious like what you know you see out there. People without knowledge, they would say things, and you go into keyboard warriors, into the mass media. So they are not legal minded people, so they can come up with their own opinions, but that opinion doesn't count, because what we want to do is we have to have foundation of knowledge, which is what you are doing right now. You guys are going all the classes in order for you to gain insight, you know. Nobody, no lecturer, no books or no acta is to dictate you this is what it is. Because if you look at the cases that you have, you know, you have in all the subjects earlier, they talk about the courts, you know, coming down on the administrators or legislators, saying that they are wrong in doing certain things. So what mindset that they have, they meaning the judges, they are the one that needs to be impartial, have the knowledge of the basic elements of law, yeah. Because that understanding is the most important thing, where you are, that is your right, yeah, as a person that is knowledgeable in law, in order for you to do your job, irrespective whether your job ends up as a magistrate, or later as the chief justice, or maybe you end up as a lawyer, you know. It is all about, remember, contract balance of probability, yeah. It is a balance of probability. If you're talking about criminal, say for example, oh, that criminal law is definite, there is no issue there, but still there is a chance for you to maneuver yourself within the law of criminal, right? So because the principle is, number one, that you have to be able to not being dictated by anyone, yeah. In this class, I am here to just give you information, share you information, for you to be able to take whatever things that is good from me, in order for you to develop yourself, right? So when you graduate, you must be able to tell yourself that this is how I see things. Okay, that is good. That is what we want, for you to be independent. Okay, so panjangnya jawapannya. Soalannya, Intan, did I answer you correctly, or are you not satisfied with my answer?
Yes, sir.
You're not satisfied with
No,
my
no, no.
answer?
I'm satisfied.
Okay. All right. All right. Any comments? The rest? Anyone who wants to do? You want to comment or anything? Just you can
I
chat.
think I think
Yes.
the
Yes.
article is very interesting because it kind of stress on how we need to balance between the power of the state and also the right of the citizens. I think it's very
Yes.
interesting.
Very interesting, right?
Yeah.
I pun baru baca semalam. So I have to get used to the intention of the writer. Remember, whenever you are facing with an article or book that you could not understand in the first place, just ask, as what I mentioned dalam WhatsApp kan, just ask the article, what are you trying to tell me? You will be surprised. Orang akan nampak you macam orang gila lah. Okay, while reading and then you are talking to the computer or talking to the article, what are the things that you want to tell me? Surprisingly, the answer will be given to you because that is our subconscious mind. Okay, your analytical mind is working towards identifying what is the gist of the article that you're reading or materials that you're reading. So the same goes for what they call it, case reading. Yeah. So it is quite difficult for you to understand. But again and again, after read second round, third round, you know, you will get the gist clearly. You know. Okay. It is a good article. It opens up your mind actually. Okay. It opens our mind into looking at the perspective that we have never been asked to do. Because when you go to class, it is all about, okay, this is A, remember A, this is the case law, this is the act, this is the section, and things like that. You are being forced to understand, not to analytically rationalize something that you want. You are supposed to know all this because eventually you will be somebody that I mentioned later on. So your mind must be open. Okay, soalan. This is about general situation of the paper. So it is something of interest when it comes to state. Is it, the question is whether the state is regulated by the law. Is what type of law is that? Yeah. If the state is bound by the law, what form of the law that needs to be binding towards the state? What is the role of the politician? Yeah, who here the article did not specifically mention about politician, but it does mention about political element. It does mention about the people in power of the state. Obviously, people in power of the state is considered as the politician. So it does give a general idea of that. One thing that you can relate, that I can relate this article to, remember the case of Tee Chen Poh in Juris 2, if I'm not mistaken. SCAR, emergency regulation, remember? Can you guys recall? Because whatever you learn setakat ni, just to give you a bird's eye view, anything that you learn from any lecturer, from any paper, they are interrelated with one another. Okay, we learn in isolation, but we implement in a very dynamic. Yeah, it can go here and there, you know, from places to places. Now, Tee Chen Poh, guys, Tee Chen Poh macam mana?
Tak ingat rasa.
Remember the facts. One thing you have to remember when it comes to cases, you have to recall the facts. So the facts was Tee Chen Poh kan, there was a robbery dekat Penang took place, and then police buat roadblocks, and then this one is after 1969, yeah, after the racial riot. So what happened was he was stopped, and then they found a revolver because he more or less fit into the description of the robber. So they stopped him, and then they found a revolver, and now they want to charge him. And the charge that they put to him is under Emergency Act, which is mandatory death for anyone who is having a possession of firearm. So what happened was he argued, you know, there is another act, Firearm Act, okay, which carries the not death sentence but only a number of years to be punished in jail. So he was arguing the AG prerogative jurisdiction, whether to charge him under Firearm Act or under SCAR. Why? The question was why SCAR? So that because the fundamental liberties of a person, everyone is to be, apply the same law, right? So he is saying that you choose a law that is more punishing towards me. That is not fair. So he fined, and then it turns out to the federal court that the law SCAR was found to be null and void. A law. Yeah, the judge now comes in and says the law that has been used is null and void, because how can you have two person running the show, running the country? We have one, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, and the other one is the parliament, because 1969 obviously there was no parliament, right? Yang di-Pertuan Agong is the one that is controlling the country under Mageran, Majlis Gerakan Negara, like what we have right now, MKN, right? So they are more or less running the show. However, under emergency, the one that is in power is Yang di-Pertuan Agong. But once the parliament sit, then Yang di-Pertuan Agong cannot be running the show together with the parliament, as what you can see in this particular case, where two authority that is running the country. So analogy dia macam simple lah. It's just like 4x4. Kita nampak orang lari pegang baton kan. So the first one that start, boom kan, dia start lari kan. That out of the four of them, he is the or she is the one that is most important, because he or she is holding the baton. Now imagine that the first one is Yang di-Pertuan Agong, or maybe we take it as a parliament. The first person is a parliament, yeah, before the racial riot, before the election, then by right the government is continuing, but because of racial riot, the power was given to Yang di-Pertuan Agong. So the second person is Yang di-Pertuan Agong. Imagine he is running, holding the baton, right? He is the one that is we have to focus, and he has the authority to do so. But when the second person, Yang di-Pertuan Agong, pass the baton to the third person, which is the parliament back again, so he cannot be running together, with the third person, meaning the parliament. Only one person is to run. Yeah. So in this case, the court is saying that Yang di-Pertuan Agong cannot run the country, and whatever laws that he used to come out with cannot be applied unless and until you adopt, what happened later on. Now, what I'm trying to focus on is the decision of the court nullifying the law, right? When the court nullified the law, remember that law has been used before Teh Cempuk, and so many hundreds of people were killed under the law. So if there is no law and the law is not valid, what will happen to those people who are murdered?
Injustice.
Injustice, right? So is it the authority of the state? What is the function of the state? Is it something that they are bound by the law, or are they able to utilize the law in order for them to regulate the society? So that is the nature of the state that we have to understand in that particular article. So perspektif dia banyak lah. If you read further down, because the document is quite lengthy, kan? So you will discover that the discussion about church, church authority, in order for them to rule a state, like we have seen, nanti lagi kita bincang about the state. So basically that is the article is about, and hopefully if you are in you are unable to understand it clearly, it's okay. It's okay. It's a first step of you to understand the law. Okay. Yeah. All right. So questions. 18 minit lah. Discussing about that only.
Sir,
Yes. Let me increase the volume. Okay. Right.
back to your article yang saya I found some very menarik punya quote lah by Kant kan. Kant cakap untuk sebuah negara yang efficient semua, saya quote the people must always obey it, and by virtue of that fact must always be in obedience to the man who in fact hold the reins of authority. There has never been and will never be a legitimate revolution. The people must always obey. They must always obey even those who has taken possession of the government by force and who consequently hold it only by means of the force. Apa komen sir?
That is by virtue of a jurist, looking at that particular situation, Immanuel Kant. So he is saying that because we are in a position of a social contract, okay, in order for us to, dia ni sama dengan, saya boleh nampak dia sama dengan apa nama dia? Allahu Akbar.
John Jaku
Bukan, John Jack, dia sama, dia John Jack, dia dengan Aquinas. Kalau you tengok Aquinas, dia punya obedience towards the state or sovereign is one thing that you cannot deny. You have to obey. Kalau you nak pergi dalam lagi, you akan nampak Socrates. Socrates, he was sentenced to death, and they were arguing to him. They say, why you have to like just repent and say that I'm sorry, I make a mistake, and then they would not kill you. They would not ask you to eat poison, or then they will banish you to an island. At least you will be living. No, he said that I have to respect the law. I have gained all the benefit from the law so far. Then how come in this particular situation and I go against the law? That is what Aquinas is reflecting. Though lex injusta non ex lex, meaning the law itself must be respected. You doesn't mean that unjust law you are able to reject. You have to look at the situation. So if you're looking at John, if you're looking at Kant, so these people, they believe in terms of the social contract. Now when you mention about contract, can you go out from the contract? Ingat tak kita belajar contract law kan? So the contract law that we learn, we are able to come out if novation or we agree to by both parties. But once you enter into that particular contract, it is unable for you to go out. Say for example, you want to be a citizen of Malaysia, so you have, kita senang lah. I mean we were born as a Malaysian citizen. But those people who struggle in order for them to get that title, they are subjected themselves to all the laws that we have. Meaning, before this, they can run away if they want to, back to their own state, right? If they wanted to have our citizenship, they are bound to whatever laws we have. So, for example, taxation law. Okay, so maybe a rich American who wants to run away from the busy life of American, American society, they come over, and then many of the Europeans, manakala they akan landing this is their what they call it, their home, their new home, which is Thailand, Indonesia kurang sikit, Malaysia, and especially Singapore, expatriate. So they decided that they wanted to stay. They enter into Malaysia, become citizens of whatever countries that they choose. They are bound by the rules of that state. So yeah, I would say in one way or another, if you look at revolution, right, it's quite difficult for us to say it is legitimate, but nevertheless, there are so many jurisprudential perspectives that we can choose in order. in order for us to decide. For us, when I say us, is the federal court judge. Whenever there is a coup that happens in the country, the bottom line is the judge in federal courts to decide whether the coup is valid or not. But kalau you tengok the article again, the discussion was whether the validity of the revolution that took place in France, where they killed their emperors, in order for them, because they are so fed up with the situation of master and slave, master and slave in your position. You don't have any what they call it, rights, but social contract give you some kind of rights, acknowledgement of your rights, as compared to those when you are under the monarch. When you are under the system of monarchy, chances are you don't have any rights. For example, mungkin for those yang kata macam mana tu, like here in Malaysia, right, we do have a system where we are governed more or less constitutional monarchy system, right, parliamentary system. The system that we choose would have a historical punya basis, whereby until today yang kita nak cakap, bila kita cakap tentang raja-raja, we will say tuanku. What is tuan? Master and slave punya situation. Tuanku, sembah patik, the words that we use, patik, sembah, duli yang maha, I don't think maha is a good word for us to use. It's only meant for God. But they are trying to portray their status. So this goes with monarch system, all over the world. One thing I flashing in my mind recently, I think a year ago, the president of Pakistan, can't remember his name, quite handsome guy. He walked off in front of the king of Saudi Arabia. He was saying something and then he walked off just like that. It was considered as rude, but that would not happen if you are the subjects of the country. Obviously, you kan nampak lah apa jadi, kena pancung obviously, right? So okay, more or less that. Yes.
Saya macam
you setuju
sikit. Kan Jean-Jacques dengan Aquinas dengan Ken ni, dia cakap mula-mula tadi yang tak kira macam mana pun, ekstensif mana pun satu undang-undang tu dibuat, tapi dia still tak boleh intruding to the person punya liberty, privacy, semua dia jaga hak individual. Dia more to individualism. Tapi kat sini pula dia cakap yang tak melawas, obey, walaupun dia cara mana pun dia masuk power, masuk obey. Tapi dia macam ada conflicting like gitu kan.
Yes.
Belum boleh tadi dia cakap yang sorry. Tak apa, continue. Kan? Tapi makin lama dia cakap tak boleh melawan tak. Macam mana?
Dia bagi konsep, the concept that you are not supposed to go against the leader of the state. Kalaulah state tu dalam state of anarchy, where dictators, kalau dictators, are you to say that you are comfortable with it? For example, North Korea, they have been telling lies to the people that they when the citizens look at the Western videos or program, right, and then when they saw all the developments, those are fictitious, those are lies, those are fantasies that they've tried to portray to you, which is for us it's reality, but for those people in North Korea, they are so controlled in their minds. They see us as enemies. They don't see us as the reality or something of the truth, because their truth is to the extent that they see what's the name of the leader North Korea?
Kim Jong-un, sir.
Kim Jong-un is God, you know, and go online and discover that actually they see this group of the family is just like what we have discovered through history, the pharaohs, yeah, the Egyptian punya kings, they are saying themselves as what they call it, gods. You know, the same thing with Japan. We have their kings, and they so obedience about the king that they see him as king. Sorry, as God. They go to war with such ferocity because they believe that what they are doing is right. So they belittle us. They take people of East Asia as sex slave, you know, and they don't mind killing us. To them, we are nothing. They are the truth. That also can relate to Hitler. Hitler, they hated the Jews so much that they killed the Jews, and they are telling everyone that it's justified for us to kill because the Jews are bad people. Whereas Jews are doing their what they need in order for them to survive. So they become rich because they are so close knitted to each other. And that is what happens when you are so close to one another. You bring yourself up. So does the Chinese of Indonesia. Remember, I think 10 years ago, recession, what happened in Indonesia is that the Chinese over there ran over to Malaysia to run away from prosecution. They were killing the Chinese over there just to blame the Chinese and saying that this thing that is happening to our country is because of you, because you are controlling the economy. Whereas the culprit is Soros, the one that manipulate our currency, right? Lucky for us, Mahathir did not take the IMF loans. Otherwise memang kita mati. Okay. Questions about it? Ada yang nak pening apa?
Sir,
Ya.
ni macam out of apa yang kita belajar. Tadi saya cakap pasal Jews tu kan, yang Hitler justified sebab Iron Race lah, itulah. Jews ni macam wicked punya race lah.
Yeah.
So sekarang ni banyak Muslim macam justified benda tu as sebab Yahudi ni Yahudi ni kita punya musuh semua, tapi still it's an act of massacre. Okay. So macam mana tu, sir?
Okay, now kita yang belajar law, we are not bound by anyone. Remember, the rule is number one, that we legal thinkers cannot be bounded by anything. Okay, whenever orang cakap kata Yahudi ni jahat, prove it. You do your research to check sama ada Yahudi ni jahat ke tak. Now, you cannot generalize a society just because some of them jahat. Memanglah dalam Islam pun ada yang jahat. Dalam Kristian pun ada yang jahat. Dalam mana-mana agama pun kita tengok orang jahat. Walaupun kalau kita tengok Burma, ya. Burma they are very religious, Buddhist, yeah. Buddhism doesn't teach you to kill, but they do that, right? So coming back, remember, whenever a statement that is made about Yahudi just because they want to, people will, politician, people who wants to control people's mind, so they try to justify their act. So Hitler, what he did was he tried to justify. You must have a guilty party, enemy. In order for you to control the mind of the society, you must be able to have an enemy. That is the role of politician. Until today, you will see that prevailing in our society. You have to make someone enemy in order for the rest of the group to pack together. So that happened in Hitler situation, in Mussolini, Italy, and then Christianity, the same thing. Islam, the same thing. Jews, yeah. Looking at the Jews, if you say that Islam is the correct religion, So does the Jews. Now, I'm making a statement because I have done my research and I discovered that they believe in one God. So does we. So does the so does Christians. But the way we interpret is different. So why do you care how they interpret? Why do you say that they are wrong? And why do you say that these people who believe in one God is not worth for us to recognize? Just because you believe in your religion doesn't mean that everyone else is wrong. That is what I hate when I go to Semayan Jumaat. I told my wife, every time I balik daripada Semayan Jumaat, I marah-marah. I hate going to the masjid. Why? Because tak tahulah, for those young guys yang dalam kelas ni, I think you discover that the khatib akan cakap, towards the end of the khutbah and say, Ya Allah, jahanamkanlah si kafir, that group of people that you see them as deviants, ataupun deviated from Islamic groups. One thing that they mentioned is about Shia. I'm not declaring myself a Shia or no, I am a Sunni. I don't believe in this sect because Quran kata you stay in one, you stay united. There is no sect in religion. So coming back, how dare a person trying to belittle somebody else's differences by labeling them as kafir? When you label someone kafir, that give you the avenue for you to kill. If that is the argument, they are saying that it is justified for them to kill these people. But that does not work if you read Al-Quran saying that every believers, especially those who believe in one God, the superiority of God, which is Jew, Christian, and Islam, you have to respect them. Why do you have to kill just because they are different from you? The differences come from the nature of things that they have to do. In order for them to say that they are a good Jew, they have to go through to 613 misbah. Misbah is 613 prohibitions that they are unable to do. You nampak tak orang Yahudi kalau ada sideburn yang panjang gitu kan? And then topi, sideburn lah yang kita ambil contoh sideburn. This is one of the misbah, meaning they have to do it. They are not allowed to cut. So that you see them with this situation. For Muslim, so what we say as Muslim, which I don't agree, the definition of Muslim is, kalau lah kata macam tu Muslim kerana Rasulullah sahaja, then what happened to Adam? Adam is to be said as Muslim. But Nabi tak pernah bagi teaching dekat Adam. Tapi how come we say Adam is Muslim? So Islam is already from the time of memorial from Adam until today. So it must be valid in terms of how we see things. For Muslim, we have like what? Several things that we are not supposed to do, right? Say for example, eating pork. Eating pork is not only a rule for Islam. It is a rule for Christianity. It is also the rule for the Jews. Drinking alcohol, it is prohibited in the three religion. So every religion have their own way of obedience towards God, submission. Islam is about submission, right? So you submit to what? Submit to all the things that in that particular religion asking us to do. What for us? Salat. So if you look at the salat of those Jews, more or less the same. So I don't know, I'm very sensitive in terms of blaming the Jews. And I told the other day, somebody mentioned about the Palestinian. I mean Surah Al-Ma'idah, 5 ayat 12, saying perfectly, saying that land belongs to them. Just give it back. So who are we to deny the statement that Allah is making? It is not only in Al-Quran, it is also in Bible, it is also in Torah. The mentioning about the land belongs to the Jews. So give it back. Apa masalahnya? Oh, the Palestinian, take them out. So where the money come from? The Arabs are so filthy rich. Take them out. Why you let our fellow human being, if you want to say Islam is so general, why you have to let them be oppressed? Just take them out. The same like what Nabi Musa did to the Jews when they were in Egypt. Take them out. You know, sorry, one more minute. The land size, the land mass of Saudi Arabia is as large as India. You Google it up. Okay, the land mass of Saudi Arabia and India, they are the same, more or less the same. India is having how many people? Population 1.3 billion, whereas for Saudi Arabia, the same size is only 33 million. The land size is the same. Or you cannot argue in saying that panas and things like that. You can make things livable if you are able to utilize technology that we have right now. Okay. That is my answer towards Jews. Nanti kita dah buka satu paper lagi, a new paper that insyaAllah elective, law and philosophy. So we are going to cover Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Chinese, and Jews, in order for us to understand. We do have this situation where we don't understand, and then we listen to other people who come to make a statement, and then we believe in the statement just because they try to justify by taking a bit of pieces of their authority, which is in our situation the Jews. We looking at the Quran. Quran is just mentioning about specific people. The Jews, yes, the Quran mentioned about the Jews, but does not generalize. Allah is not in that manner that he is so cruel to say that the whole group are bad. Come on, our logic does not play. That cannot comprehend that. So you guys, as a logical legal thinkers, must be able to not fall under that trap. So we cannot, because we are the one that knows the law. We know what is right, what is wrong. We should be able to see it. We might be different from opinion of each other, but at least we can have some kind of understanding of why we are saying that. Not simply like what I said about keyboard warriors. Dia tak pernah belajar law pun, tiba-tiba jadi orang yang pandai menghukum about law. So the statement that they made, even daring, as compared to we who learn law. I don't dare make statement like that, but they easily can make statement. Macam say for example the Chinese, the Indian, if we don't like here, the politics that we apply here, the rule, the sovereignty, the concept that we apply, get out. Come on, let's not be childish. Those statements are racist. It is a racist nature. We cannot be applying that. Racist is not is prohibited from our religion. No matter you are Christian, whether you are Jew, whether you are Buddhist, whether you are Muslim. Okay, right. Ampun, sorry, panjang satu slide lain tak habis ni. Okay, soalan. Tak apa, I will record and then for us to move forward. I know some of you might be saying, Allah, tak ubah-ubah lagi ke, that slide. You want to continue with the class, right? So whatever I am discussing actually is about the generalization of the topic, topic 3. Soalan? Tak apa, it's okay. We are not forced to follow the slide. Soalan? Tak ada? Ada? Ada tak Ismah?
Apa? Mana saya pilih?
Tak apa.
Individual.
Ya. Macam mana?
Kalau dia beri pilihan antara individualism dengan full on socialism, macam individualism kan macam seorang kan, hak seseorang tu, ataupun hak masyarakat, antara dua tu, mana yang saya pilih?
Individualism.
Full individualism.
Plato said, kalau kita make a person understand, you know, he or she should know what is right, what is wrong. Kalau you duduk dalam society, you will be part of the society. So you are unable to say whatever you want, whatever you think, because you have to conform to the standard of majority. Okay, majority rules. But when it comes to individualism, you yourself know what is right, what is wrong. Because the understanding comes from you. The law cannot force you because the society wants to rule you. And how they do that is to implement law in order for the individual to be subservient, meaning you follow the command of the society. But when it comes to individualism, that person would be able to think for themselves, know what is right, what is wrong, because dia akan pakai Socratic punya method of analyzing anything. So kita ni, kalau kita sorry. Yeah.
Kalau yang individualism tu, so what's the purpose of moral relativism, the social rules of the society? Then orang tu kalau personal autonomy, kalau dia kata this is yes, however some other person says no, then orang lain pun it become a private or public nuisance towards the others. Macam mana sir?
Macam contoh you bagi kalau lah kata dia contoh apa dia yang you nak bagi untuk nak say that the general society overrule the individual.
Maybe orang ni dia suka buat something lah, dia suka buat A, tapi other person maybe 2-3 orang it says B is the answer. So orang lain akan terkacau lah bila semuanya nak ikut kepala sendiri, individual sendiri. Yes, we know what is right and what is wrong. But no, macam mana? Kita tahu benda tu betul, benda tu salah, tapi tak semuanya kita buat tu akan jadi betul dan salah di mata orang.
Betul.
So
kita
will cause some problem.
Yeah, it will. But if everyone understand individualism, where everyone respect the rights of individuals to do whatever they want, then kita ambil contoh I'm living in an apartment, right? During MCO, right? I have no idea what phrase that they are utilizing. Semalam my wife was telling me I'm not that person that recalls apa term that they use, whatever it is. During the COVID, any renovation is not to be done, right? To the building, to your units, because you are living in a mass, a group of people, where your activities that you are going to do is going to impact them, because they are not supposed to go to work, they are at home, and they are going to be affected by it. Now, if you go along that line, right, you as an individual cannot do anything that it is your right towards the land that is being given to you. You buy that particular piece of land or unit, right? Then therefore you have the right to enjoy. So what is your right of enjoyment as compared to the enjoyment of the majority? So I have my neighbor that is moving in, and recently we talked. I saw him bringing some things into the house. He wanted very much, being a Chinese. Chinese kalau you tengok, dia orang akan renovate rumah sebelum dia orang masuk, right? Why? Because dia memang gila kalau you duduk dalam rumah. Melayu akan buat macam tu. Duduk kat rumah baru nak buat extension, nak buat renovation and things like that. It's messy, right? So what he is saying to us the other day, he said that I'm worried because I have another commitment that I have to forgo, you know, a house that he has rented. He has to move in. How can he move in when things are not, you know, renovated? So that is a conflict. So what is the right of individual? If the right of individual can cause certain harm, yeah, I'm talking about John Stuart Mill harm principle, where he says that as long as you are not harming physically or harming the rights of the person, then it should be okay, right? Yeah, because what we want along the line of Plato, what we need to understand is be considerate, right? Be considerate in doing your renovation can take place from 9 to 5. You know, you don't do renovation after 5 o'clock, which I am facing. There are people who are doing all these noises after 5 o'clock, which is not reasonable. There must be some, what they call it, jalan tengah that we are to, you know, to implement in order for us to have a great state that we are living in. So in America, they honor liberty of a person. As long as you are able to do whatever you want to do, you do, and as long as it does not interfere with other people's right. Interference can be subjective. It can be mitigated, meaning you can find a way through it. But it is not like killing people or hurting people. That is wrong. Yeah. Even individual who have a bit of common sense knows that you are to respect other people's rights in terms of their property, in terms of their their feelings, that is why we have the law of defamation that you learn dalam talks too, because that defamation is hurting the injurious to the person's status. You can go into fight with one person to another and utter words like kau bodoh, kau jahat, kau tak guna, those are accepted behavior that when you fight, takkan you kata you ni apa ni macam ni. You fight because you want to show your anger. Your anger does not allow you to go and then tarnish a person's status. Recently yang I buat poll because one student accused me of giving the assignment for my wife to check. That is a blunt defamatory statement, which is prejudice to my status as a lecturer. So therefore, I said enough is enough. I'm going to take her to court if the faculty is not going to take up that case. I had a meeting with the dean and talk about this. But though it might seem trivial, it's not something that is okay, student, no, it is not, because there are things that the student can say about you, but do not go to the extent that is accusation that is injurious, that is criminal. Defamation is criminal. It's not only thought. That is why it's so serious that the parliament come up with Defamation Act. Otherwise, the legislation is leaving everything, thoughts, to the court to decide. Why this particular act of a person is considered as not to be accepted by the society because it is injurious. Okay, so you can see that that situation. Tak tahulah, saya dah panjang cerita, habis dah sejam. But ada soalan lagi, last soalan sebelum I think we can't go further. I will give you all the records in order for you to be able to read. Soalan last.
Sir.
Cynthia.
No, sir.
Okay. Right, tak ada So okay, you are going to another class, I understand that. So we end the session today. The recording, I will pass it over to you. However, both the recording of this discussion and the one about the slides. So thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, sir.
Please stay safe, sir.
Yeah, same to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sorry, saya tanya soalan luar kotak.
Boleh. Tak ada hal. I mean, this is what we actually, kan, kalau kita tengok syllabus it is a guidance saja. The one that is important is about your understanding. It is not the subject that is important. We are, as lecturers, we are bounded by the syllabus. However, the syllabus is just secondary for me. Syllabus is secondary. The primary thing is for you to understand. Yeah. So this is a session I believe is more fruitful. Maybe some of you might see it as different, but whatever you are listening in, though you might not agree with the how what we are doing right now, it's already in your head, in your subconscious mind. We have the conscious mind and subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is always awake. It is coming, it is taking in everything. It is already there inside your mind. So don't worry, don't be stressed out that we are in the third topic, after the fifth week, right? So don't worry about that. I will give your recording later on. Any questions before we leave? Cynthia, sorry.
No, sir.
Okay.
I was just pretty macam nak cakap terdiam lah sebab kita punya ideology is very different from all the people that I've heard before. Sebab orang kata macam, oh Jews ni jahat, Jews ni macam tu macam ni. Tapi because of the fact that we have our own religion, right? Yeah.
Kita bunuh dengan Kristian bunuh kita bunuh Jews.
Sir.
Ya.
Sampai like Muslim sampai justify and memang like junjung lah Hitler ni. Like dia memang acknowledge Hitler, oh bagusnya dia bunuh Jew sampai 6 million semua tu kan. But
I mean, you look at those pictures, are they really that bad? That justify for them to be what do you call it? Terminated? No, it happens. Yeah.
Itulah tak tengok pula kalau dokumentari semua kan, like
tengok. This is the time. Dulu waktu saya tak ada video YouTube. Now you are open to everything. Nobody can say anything. It is your mind, your truth that you want to find. Kalau lah kata statement saya yang saya kata kalau Islam is a private religion, it's not a public religion, you nak murtad, go ahead. It is your account with God. It's not about me and you. It is my account with God. You punya account with God. So why should everyone worry? I cannot force la ikrah fi din kan. You cannot force a person to Muslim. He want or she wants to go out. What's the point of you holding
Banyak kali suruh macam tu.
Okay. Because this is my contribution to your mind. I open up. We are not to be like macam kuda pakai that what they call it, the blind. We are to open up. Okay then. Sorry to take up your time. Assalamualaikum. Thank you. Be safe.
Thank you, sir.
All right, sir. Thank you. See you. This tutorial.
Yeah, sir.
Tutorial. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Afla. Ada nak tanya soalan ke?
Tak ada, sir. Just.
Tak ada.
Sir, tadi saya cakap yang tanah tu Al-Ma'idah ayat 5
Al-Ma'idah, dia ada 70 ayat kalau you check berkenaan tanah. Satu je berkenaan dengan tanah Palestin.
I've checked. It is the 21. Ayat ke-21.
21, 12 terbalik pula. Kan? Only that 14 surah saja yang ada. So it is clear. Kalau Quran kata ada, kalau Bible pun ada, kalau Torah pun ada.
Betul sih.
Deny.
Just
Settle je masalah dunia ni sebenarnya datang daripada berkelahi. Saya dulu berkelahi dengan adik saya, ada satu orang yang jalan waktu kami kecil kan. Ada seorang tu dia pegang kepala kami dua-dua, langgarkan kepala kami dua-dua.
Oh, asal? Saja asal?
Kami kan berkelahi adik-beradik kan, dia lagi kecil-kecil kan. Ada je, he is like 2 years younger than me. So I still remember until today. Dia ambil kepala kami, langgar. Sebab my mother was the one that jaga kami dorang. Dia dah pening dah. Kami duk berkelahi depan ramai orang, depan dekat station bus. So this one guy, pakcik, you know, ambil kepala kami tu dan lagakan. Then we sedar. Oh, you know, the same thing that is happening in the world right now. If you don't settle the masalah Palestine, meaning the rightful land belongs to whom, the whole world will suffer.
Betul. Claiming there and here. Betul, sir.
Dia akan semua war sana, war sini. International law for me tak boleh pakai dalam keadaan Palestine punya situation. We have to go back to kalau you belajar Aquinas, kita divine law, you know, kita ada natural law, kita ada divine law. So those scriptures law kena ikut divine law. Any human law yang kita buat kena ikut divine law. Lagi kita ikut, lagi kita Allah kata too bad lah. You don't follow my rule, you deserve it. Kan? Okay, Hezbah. Sorry to take your time.
Alright. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Salam.